Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call your attention to the podium and to the presentation. We're ready to start with our inaugural State of the City. So first of all, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this beautiful Rengstorff house in the city of Mountain View. My name is Mike Inoue. I'm the traffic anchor on NBC Bay Areas Today in the Bay. So I know about congestion. I've actually grown up here in Mountain View. So I know how much this city has changed and how many cars have visited our city so frequently on a daily basis compared to when I was a little kid. I grew up when downtown Castro was there. There was a building, I don't know how many of you have been here long enough, you remember, there was a building that had the spray paint on there calling it Dog City. You remember that? Yeah, who remembers Dog City? Because there were guard dogs, I think, inside, right, Lucas? There were guard dogs inside. It was a vacant building. And now look how beautiful and how hopping and what a great place it is to be over there by the Center for Performing Arts. My daughter hung out there during her middle school days over at Graham, more than I ever thought anyone would ever hang out there when I was at Graham. So what a change the city has made. And we continue to move forward, and that's what we're here to celebrate today. Again, my name is Mike Inoue, and I'm proud to be a citizen of Mountain View, calling Mountain View where I have my roots, and I also have my future here in the city. So let's talk about that today. As is tradition, we will start this gathering with the Pledge of Allegiance, and they will be led in that pledge by the Scouts from Troop 87. They're standing by. But before we can have that Pledge of Allegiance, we have to have the colors posted. So with that, I'd like to ask you all to please stand for the posting of the colors, brought to us by the City of Mountain View Fire Department Honor Guard. Corey, if I can have you and your Honor Guard post the colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The audience may be seated. Thank you very much. And thanks once again, big round of applause to the Scouts from Troop 87, and of course, the City of Mountain View Fire Department Honor Guard. Really classes the place up compared to the guy you have talking to you right now. Thanks, folks, for being here. And thank you for coming to, again, like I said, this special meeting for the City of Mountain View. I'd like to start this by the special meeting of Mountain View City Council on this Wednesday, May 21st. And to kick things off, we'll ask Mayor Ellen Kamei to please come to the podium to open public comment.
Great, thank you, Mike. Good evening. As was mentioned, I'm your mayor, Ellen. And since it's a public meeting, we get to take public comment. So this meeting is for the public who would like to address the only item on tonight's agenda, which is the state of the city. While we're streaming the meeting on Zoom and YouTube, public comments are only available in person. Comments will be 1 minute maximum, and if you have any additional comments, we encourage you to please attend our regular upcoming council meeting, which is scheduled for next week, next Tuesday, May 27th at 5 p.m. Please come up to the microphone if you have any public comment. Okay, I'm not seeing any, which means we're ready to start the party, right? So I will close public comment and I'll turn things back over to you, Mike. Thanks, everyone.
I told you, Mayor Kamei is efficient. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with this program right now. As you heard, the Mountain View City Council is here, and so are all of you. We thank you. Some folks are probably here for the first time. Let me hear from you if you're the first time at a State of the City or even a public city council meeting. Let me hear your round of applause. Wonderful. So from all of you seasoned veterans, then, let's welcome people for participating in our local government. Let's give them a round of applause. Many members of the Mountain View City Council here. Go ahead and make sure you say hi and thank you, as well as your public comment to them. If you're welcome. We're live streaming the 2025 State of the Cities on the YouTube channel, and it's at Mountain View Gov, as well as on Zoom. So be on your best behavior because everybody's watching. Now, if you are contributing on socials, make sure you do hashtag us as well. Hashtag MV State of the City. And we have to get out there on social media as well. The theme tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is building the Mountain View of tomorrow. Very forward looking. You'll be hearing all about this and more in a presentation from Mountain View's City Manager, Kimbra McCarthy. And just like we started just a few seconds ago, we will also end our evening with remarks from Mayor Kamei, but we'll have her comment instead of the quiet public comment period. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to come hear about Mountain View and the status as well as the future from the City Manager. It's my pleasure to welcome City Manager Kimbra McCarthy to the stage. Kimbra.
Thank you so much, Mike. We're so lucky for you to be here and to be a Mountain View resident as well. So good evening, everyone. It's so wonderful to see so many new faces and familiar faces. I want to welcome you to our inaugural State of the City. Some of you may know that we hosted an event that used to be called the City's Annual Update. And this was an event co-hosted with the Chamber, a fabulous partner, I might add, Peter Katz. Thank you. I see you sitting here in the audience. And that event was typically done in the morning time. It was during breakfast, and it was a paid event. So this year, for this inaugural event, this is open to all of you. And this is a free and open meeting for the public. So we're very excited to see all of you and host you here in this first-time event. The first thing that we're going to do is watch a video about how we are building the Mountain View of tomorrow.
I think one of the most unique things about Mountain View is the robust program that we have in multicultural engagement. This has been a community of immigrants throughout its many different phases of development, and that each of these new groups of people come in and find a home and contribute to what makes Mountain View a great place. And it's important that we honor that we celebrate that. And it's especially important now so that every member of our community knows that they're welcome, that they belong, and that they have something valuable to contribute.
We have a lot of great affordable housing projects in our pipeline that we're working on. The Heartwood is actually our most recent project that was just completed last fall. There are 48 units here for formerly unsheltered. It's our first project with units for transition age youth transitioning out of foster care, and also for those at risk of homelessness. And so this project is really special because it's our first hotel conversion into permanent affordable housing, and it's serving the needs of folks who we haven't had these types of units before. Especially for the transition age youth. So it's also special because we partnered with a lot of great external organizations and agencies to make this happen, but it's also creating more diversity in our affordable housing to serve our underserved populations.
I
of the things that we're actively focused in on right now is improving the experience for our bicyclists and our pedestrians who are traversing within and throughout the city. One of the projects that we're working on right now and is currently under construction is the California Street Complete Streets pilot project. That project is making improvements along a 1.2 mile long corridor between Showers Drive and Shoreline Boulevard. We're promoting active transportation, which is using your body in ways to get around town, finding alternative ways than traditional gas combustion engines to facilitate your way around the area. And Mountain View has a multitude of options for all of those who are looking to find alternative methods throughout the city.
How can we come together as a community and have a place where not only the people thrive, but the environment is healthy and sustainable? As we're launching rebates for homeowners so that they can switch their water heaters to heat pump water heaters. We're looking at our fleets and all of our city operations. What are the ways that we can reduce our impact to climate change? How can we continue to provide service to the city, but in a way that's more sustainable? At the end of the day, we're doing this for each other. We're doing this to build a community where we can thrive, not only today and tomorrow, but for generations to come.
One of the first electric buildings here, California and beyond. And so we're excited to take that on as one of the new facilities, trying to go completely sustainable. And so what do we mean by sustainable? That is going completely electric and solar. So we're using electricity and solar to heat not only the water in the pools, but also the water that's being used in the locker rooms, wash your hands, take showers. We have some other new amenities in the building, such as a multi-purpose room. Our new pools are meeting the needs of the community a lot more. 25-yard by 25-meter is a standard that we're now meeting that we didn't before. We now have a play pool with a zero entry, a slide, and some additional lanes that we can provide some new programming that we haven't done before. Once again, we're trying to make this part of the Mountain View of tomorrow.
The bookmobile is a crucial part of the library's outreach because we bring library resources and materials into the community. We go to pockets of the community that maybe are areas where people may not be able to get to the library. So we bring the library resources, we bring story times, we bring crafts, all of this into parks, senior centers, other organizations, business areas. For example, we had the bookmobile in a park and we were offering a story time and a craft, and a family came with children and they asked us, what is a story time? So it's a wonderful way for the library to reach those who don't know all of the wonderful things the library has to offer.
The city of Mountain View is a leader in housing development. Last year, the city received a pro-housing designation from the state of California in recognition of its past work. The city continues to lead on housing issues through the R3 zoning update, which will modernize regulations for multifamily housing development across much of the city. The vision for this process includes creating opportunities for thousands of new housing units, which will result in housing that is more energy efficient and more resilient to hazards, including earthquakes, while providing robust protections for lower income families already living in our community. This will also allow more people to live closer to where they work, supporting the city's environmental goals. The R3 update is an important step to provide housing opportunities for all Mountain View residents and to create the Mountain View of tomorrow.
Really excited about our new transparency dashboard. It provides our community, people who live, work, and come to Mountain View, access to the things that the Mountain View Police Department is doing. Everything from property crimes, person crimes, even our uses of force in our organization. So it really is a tool for people with broad interests in our community and to ensure that we are transparent and accessible in a way that we haven't been able to be before, just based on scale and access. Something we're very excited about. My hope is that our transparency dashboard will help make Mountain View a community for all and make our police department a police department for all.
And I'm excited to tell you about the brand new ambulance services that we're providing to our residents. Most recently, our city council approved a brand new ambulance in the city of Mountain View. This ambulance provides advanced life support emergency services, which is critical for patient care. For the first time ever in our history, Mountain View firefighters will be providing advanced pre-hospital medical care and be able to transport our patients and expedite the transport of these patients to the hospital. It's the most advanced technology in emergency medical care in the field. Inside the ambulance, you will see multiple cabinets with medications, tools, and equipment for, again, delivering high quality, advanced life support, pre-hospital care.
Thank you all very much. As you can see, we have done a lot over the past year, and we are still working on a lot of things that the mayor and I will talk about later tonight. But as I was watching this, I realized we should have done like a bingo card or a scavenger hunt so you can see if you actually meet any of the staff that were on this video, because most all of them are here with you this evening. So I hope you get the chance to meet some of the wonderful city staff that care so deeply about you all in this community and do all of this really important work. So we are well on our way to building the Mountain View of tomorrow. Thanks to our strong leadership from our city council, I'd like to recognize our council members, Mayor Ellen Kamei, who you saw speak already and who you will hear from soon, Vice Mayor Emily Ann Ramos, Council Member Chris Clark, Councilmember Allison Hicks, whose daughter's college graduation is this evening, Councilmember John McAllister, Councilmember Lucas Ramirez, and Councilmember Pat Showalter. I'd also like to recognize representatives from our county, state, and federal legislative delegation. Turn your attention this way. Nicholas Hargis, Senior Field Representative from the Office of Congressman Sam Liccardo. Want to wave, Nicholas? Isabel Augustin, District Representative from the Office of State Senator Josh Becker. Kevin Fong, District Director from the Office of Assemblymember Mark Berman. And Renee Fong, Field Representative from the Office of County Supervisor Margaret Abekoga in District 5. Thank you all so much for being here. We also have other elected officials in the room with us. I think I saw several, including from the Mountain View Wisman School District, the Mountain View Los Altos Union High School District, Los Altos School District, El Camino Healthcare District, and I think other neighboring jurisdictions. So if you are an elected official, including council members, please stand up so we can recognize you for your public service and commitment to our community. Thank you all. And also, if you serve on a Mountain View advisory body, if you could just give a little wave of your hand and be recognized for your efforts in assisting the community and advising our council. Thank you all for being here. I also want to thank KMVT for live streaming today's event, and to everyone involved in putting on today's event, which includes our caterer and her staff who haven't stopped moving since this morning and the doors being opened. And then of course, our amazing city staff who have spent several weeks planning this event and making sure that everyone feels so welcome when they're here. So thank you all for the city staff efforts. All right, so you hear the phrase a lot, building the Mountain View of tomorrow, and we've been saying this for the last, I'd say, 2 years. And what does that really mean? It really means that we are making investments in our community and really taking bold actions to make Mountain View a better place for all of you to live, work, and visit. So part of that is related to a revenue measure that was just passed this last November, Measure G. Measure G increased the city's real property conveyance tax for properties that are sold over $6 million. It's about 73% of residents approved this measure. And what it's going to do is generate approximately $8 to $9 million annually per year for the city. So this additional funding is geared towards funding different buckets of priorities in the city. This includes improving our facilities, building a new public safety building, expanding our parks and open spaces, improving pedestrian and bicyclist safety, which you heard about a lot on the video, developing and preserving our affordable housing, and so much more. So we are at the tail end of our budget season at the city. We operate on what's called a fiscal year, and the fiscal year starts July 1st and ends on June 30th. So I'm proud to say that our city's budget is stable and it is structurally balanced. So what that means is that our revenues and expenditures are exactly aligned. I'm also really proud to let you all know that just this past week, the city's credit status, being a AAA agency, was just reaffirmed by credit agencies. So it really allows the city to take on additional efforts. And when we need to potentially issue bonds in the future, we can do so at a much lower interest rate than most other public agencies. So as you are also aware, the economic outlook right now is a little uncertain and is a little unstable. But what I want to assure you of is the commitment that we have in the city to making sure that we are still delivering to all of you excellent and high quality services. So part of that is surrounded by our economic vitality strategy. So this fancy word is basically a plan that has a lot of action steps or to-do items related to making sure that we have a very economically vital base. So that includes not just our downtown, but also our small businesses and our large corporations that are here in Mountain View. So one of the things that we've done recently, if you've been downtown, I believe it was just yesterday maybe that it was finished, Jennifer, the ribbons street treatment. So if you go downtown, you'll see the ribbon treatment painted on the streets there, a lot of live music, and we're doing a lot of efforts just to increase the vitality of downtown over these next several months going into the summer. Later this year, we're also going to do what's called a downtown precise plan update. This plan is basically the long-term policy document about the land use of the downtown area, the improvements for mobility, so meaning our bicyclists or pedestrians that are down in the downtown area, and then just the development of our public spaces. So the areas where all of you or your neighbors, your family, your friends, what does that space look like? How do we interact with the retail and the business environment? So this precise plan update will take about 3 years to complete. It's a large land use policy document that will involve a lot of community feedback from you and your neighbors. I'm also really excited to announce, if you haven't heard yet, that the Alamo Draft House Cinema right over at San Antonio Center is set to open very soon. And I want to applaud our community development staff's efforts in helping the Alamo move forward so that they can stay on target and be the first in the region to open up before the summer. So that's very exciting. We also have a lot of major projects underway. Some you heard about in the video, a lot related to improvements that we're doing in our streets and our neighborhoods. One thing that we're doing that we just embarked upon is called the Moffett Boulevard Precise Plan. So similar to what I just described for the downtown Precise Plan, this takes a look at that corridor where Moffett Boulevard is and basically talks about the vision of what that whole area should look like in the future. So how do you incorporate the mix of commercial, retail, residential, and civic uses? and have a beautifully landscaped area, an area that's well lit, an area where people can go on their bicycle or walk. So how can we basically completely re-envision that Moffett Boulevard area? Another thing that we're starting that you saw in the video is the California Complete Streets pilot program. Complete streets essentially means that we're not only looking at how vehicles get from point A to B, but again, how bicyclists and pedestrians interact with the environment and the street and how that can all come together. So that's what a complete street is. So we will have new crosswalks, new sidewalk corridors, and there's the portions of the street that are also being redone. Another part of Mountain View that we are working on now is the Miramonte Avenue corridor improvements. So if you drive frequently on Miramonte or even are on there just certain times of the day, you will see a lot of work going on in that area. Again, same theme as what you've been hearing already. We're really trying to enhance the street for bicyclists, pedestrians, and of course, improve that roadway. We know and are aware that that road needs a lot of repair and rehabilitation, which we are actively working on. We're also working on something called the Active Transportation Plan. This was also mentioned in the video. The Active Transportation Plan incorporates elements of our bicycle plan and a pedestrian master plan. Again, how are we incorporating all of these elements together as we start to plan for the future of Mountain View? And then lastly, I want to mention a program that we just recently launched for all of you who may need simple permits. So we just launched what's called our Express Permits MV program. And this is basically a fast-paced, simple building permit program for single-family homes or duplex owners, also small businesses, to get permits on really simple projects like remodeling. So this is going to be a very quick timeline, about 2 weeks, and you can also meet with city staff either in person or on Zoom. So our hope is that this is going to save people time and money. And then I also want to talk a little bit about what we're doing for our parks, recreation, and our natural environment, or the biodiversity of Mountain View. So in the video, you saw our newly open Rengstorff Aquatic Center, which is just right across from us in these windows. And the really wonderful thing about this project is that we are one of the first west of the Mississippi to have a project like this, all electric. So not only is it heating the pool, but it's also powering the pool and the different buildings and infrastructure there. So it did take us a little bit longer than we thought. So this is one of the drawbacks of being the first and being innovative. It took us a little bit longer to make sure that that technology was integrated before we could open. But we are very proud of this innovative public swimming pool. We also have a Parks and Recreation strategic plan that's underway right now, where we're really going to think about how we can integrate more parks in Mountain View, expand our use of open spaces, and have even more recreation programming. And lastly, as part of this effort, we have a biodiversity effort that's going on in urban forests. And this is really centered around our natural environment. So not just the parks and open space, as I mentioned, but also looking at the vegetation, the wildlife, the trees, different animal species, and how we incorporate all that into enhancing our tree canopy in Mountain View, helping mitigate climate change, and then of course, increase local animal habitats. So all of these are kind of being incorporated together with this biodiversity plan. So all of this future planning is helping to move Mountain View forward and build the Mountain View of tomorrow. So I hope just from these little tidbits, you've learned a little more than you knew before you stepped through these doors this evening. And now it is my pleasure to introduce and welcome our Mayor, Ellen Kamei, to the podium.
Thanks, everyone. So good evening again. Buenas noches. 大家好. I am so excited to be able to talk to you about what we're doing in the city of Mountain View and be able to speak at our very first State of the City. It's such a pleasure to serve Mountain View as your mayor again. Some of you may know I was completely virtual during my last mayoral term in 2021. So this is a lot of real life activities for myself this time. And now more than ever, it's extremely important that the city of Mountain View reaffirms our commitment to being a community for all. And this means that we promote strategies to protect our most vulnerable populations and preserve our socioeconomic and cultural diversity of our community. And I think we can all attest to the fact that locally we're facing many uncertainties with our current federal administration. But I want you all to know that the city is bracing for the impacts to funding that goes towards the services that are relied upon by our community members who need it. And our community should feel heartened that we remain strong as a city and we're continually planning strategically for the long term. And you can see in this image of how we came together at the grand opening of our Magical Bridge playground. It's a playground that welcomes people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds, using the inspiration to spread kindness. And as soon as you walk in, you'll see you're invited to be a kindness ambassador. And what an incredible kind of call to action for all of us to remember to spread kindness. And our council approved $100,000 in funding for a Community for All grant program that will support qualifying immigrant organizations with their outreach strategies. And we also host many events that bring our diverse community together. Next month, it's really exciting to share that we're having our first citywide Together in Pride special event to celebrate the diversity and inclusion with our LGBTQ plus friends, families, and neighbors. And this will include our Pride flag raising, which was founded over a decade ago by Councilmember Clark. And the celebration is taking place on Saturday, June 7th at our Civic Center Plaza, and we hope to see you all there. And as I was mentioning, Mountain View, we celebrate our diversity. Nearly 50% of our residents speak a language other than English at their home, and 40% of our residents are born outside of the US. We continue to provide civic leadership academies in Spanish and Chinese. So our Spanish started in 2017, and our Mandarin Leadership Academy is going into, I think it's third year, which is exciting. And tonight, we have members of our Spanish Language Academy here in the room. So can we give un gran aplauso para la academia que está aquí con nosotros? We put on our events like this that celebrate our diversity at our multicultural festival. That started out as a biannual event, so every other year. But given our community's interest and feedback, we now do that annually with the help of our Human Relations Commission. The city also serves our community members who are most vulnerable, and that's our senior residents to those who are experiencing housing instability. And for the last 2 years, the city has been developing a strategy to address homelessness over the next 7 to 10 years. And it's called our Pathways to Housing, Homelessness Response Strategy and Expenditure Plan. Our council will be looking at this next month in June before we go on our council recess. And we're also looking at the impact of our safe parking program for individuals that are unstably housed and living in vehicles. And for a city our size, Mountain View is trying very hard to do our part. Right now, we have 114 parking spaces across 5 different sites in the city, providing access to basic needs and services. And what's been really wonderful is the partnership that we've had with our nonprofit community to be able to help serve our safe parking program residents. And our community-based organizations have formed a group called Coordinating Together, and they meet monthly to share and collaborate on ideas, solutions for our most vulnerable residents, as well as with support from our county partners, Santa Clara County partners, on key areas to move forward. And we're also proud, as was mentioned in the video, that Mountain View is one of few cities in the entire state to be recognized as a pro-housing city by the state of California. Just want everyone to know that's not an easy feat, especially in these times. And it shows just how much Mountain View is a regional leader in housing production, but we also focus on protection and preservation. And we try to be a leader in a variety of affordability levels. And we'll be soon spotlighting the need for middle income housing. When I was knocking on doors every single time, people talked about the need to be able to house those in the missing middle. And the city recently partnered with the Urban Land Institute through a technical assistance panel program to help evaluate some potential options. And that'll be coming forward next Friday. And we are looking at an affordable housing condo project on city-owned land in our North Bay Shore Precise Plan area, which will be a great addition for a strategy focused on home ownership, especially those in our low to moderate income levels for families and households. In Santa Clara County, you can have a six-figure salary and still be considered low income. So this is something that I in particular have been trying very hard to highlight. And so the strategy is going to be over the next 18 months. And it's going to include a evaluation of best practices, innovative options, and policies and programs to help bring homeownership forward. And in this area, in our North Bay Shore, we have La Avenida, which we'll be having a ribbon cutting for soon. It's our newest 100% affordable housing development. And that is in our North Bay Shore area. But we can't do this alone, and that means that we're constantly thinking about how we're building partnerships. So it's with all of you, our residents, our business community, as was mentioned, our chamber, community-based organizations, and civic leaders like those who are in our volunteer commissions or in our academies. And I feel fortunate that in Mountain View, we not only have like innovative public-private partnerships with some of our largest global companies, but we also have over a dozen boards and commissions that you can, step up and volunteer to. We have a robust volunteer program and are looking at a work plan item to kind of help those who want to volunteer in Mountain View streamline that process and make it easier. And we have very engaged neighborhood associations. And it's wonderful that we have a community that steps up and acts, because we can't do any of this alone. And during the pandemic, our hashtag was Better Together. And it's really important for Mountain View's future. And as we're looking at the future in every step that we take, so some of you may know I'm a third generation Mountain View resident, and now I get to raise the fourth generation of Mountain View residents. And when we are thinking about the future, we're thinking about your kids, your grandkids, and all of those who are counting on us. And in the video and what Kimber shared and what I've shared, we have really ambitious goals. We understand that that's true. I'm sure there might be some other things tonight that you'll let us know, my council colleagues and I know that you would like us to do. And we appreciate the creativity and the community spirit to work together in achieving them. It's really, I think, the resiliency of our city that we're going to need to rely on as we go forward, because it's only been 5 months with the current administration and we have a long way to go. So how can you stay connected? We need your involvement for the city to be successful. So please stay informed, stay connected. There's so many ways. It's really easy to do now. You can engage with us on social media at Mountain View Gov. You can read our View newsletter, which comes out twice a year. You can subscribe to our City Hall Connection and our Downtown Digest e-newsletters. They also have a YouTube channel where they're spotlighting different downtown businesses. So I encourage you to watch that. And you're always welcome to give us feedback, attend our workshops about city projects through, we have a platform called Collaborate Mountain View, and you can click there, you can see all of the projects that the city's working on and provide your input. So We're really grateful that you're here tonight to hear about how we're building the Mountain View of tomorrow and how we're trying to incorporate all your voices in the community. And I think what we would say too is be engaged. We're a community for all. And thanks to you, we're building a sustainable, vibrant, and welcoming Mountain View, not only now, but for future generations. So I want to conclude by just saying thank you to all of you. You all deserve a round of applause.
So thank you, Mayor Kamei. And for those of you who remember Mayor Kamei from her first term, this is what she looks like in real life. About the same size as she is on the screen, right? Thank you, Mayor Kamei. Her family, my family, we both grew up in Mountain View. Several generations of our families started out as small farmers here, and we've grown up. We kind of grew up the same as the city has grown up. We've seen so many changes. What I really appreciate about this year's theme, Mountain View of Tomorrow, we saw this in the pictures, is that we're looking toward tomorrow without forgetting the Mountain View of the past and remembering to take the Mountain View of today forward with us. So you should be proud of this city council for what they're doing. I'm excited about hearing all the details. Thank you, City Manager McCarthy, for sharing that with us as well. I'm encouraged to know that as I head over to and from that Safeway, that it's a corridor improvement program. Eventually, yes, that's nice. I do appreciate that. Work in progress. So, ladies, yes, that's feedback. It's just a little clatter in my car. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We have the Mountain View of tomorrow that we're talking about. Kenzo, I know, was here. Little Kenzo. I heard that he wanted to use the pool this summer, and it was sadly not quite ready for him. But you heard that this pool complex, is all aquatic center, is all electric, which is fantastic. I really wanted Kenzo to get in there this summer, so I was pushing for the coal, but they stuck with electric, so that's all right. That's why I'm not on the council. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Mike Eno, and I want to thank you for being here and taking care of the city that I love and the city that I grew up in. We have centerpieces on your tables. We don't want any fights like last year. So I don't know if there's video of that, but you're welcome to take a plant centerpiece with you, as well as the cookies, mini cupcakes that may remain. There's a workout center as well as the Y down over by El Camino Hospital. If you eat too many cookies, we have those services for you as well. Thank you to Mayor Kamei, the City Council, City Manager Kimber McCarthy, everyone here on the wait staff. Give them a big round of applause for the event staff here. And while many of them are no longer in this room, let's make sure that they can pass along via walkie-talkie our first responders who are here today and always, our police and our fire department. Give them a big round of applause. And thank you to the mayor and city manager for including me in today's State of the City, the inaugural. I'm very pleased with the turnout here, knowing that there are so many engaged. Are we Mountain Viewsians? We'll work that out, and we'll make a hashtag for that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here, for your continued support of the city. You take care. Drive home safely.